What's up, guys? We are back now for episode 8. Ocho is back. Ocho Cinco, however, has been out of the league for quite a while. But Ocho, we are on episode Ocho. Look, you guys know our motto. We know our motto. We're trying to get more subscribers and fans, likes, whatever you want to call it, YouTube wise, than the Cleveland Browns will ever dream of winning Super Bowls. So that's what we're here for. That's what we have been doing, and we continue to do that. So, little update for you guys. I know it has been quite a while since we updated a video. It's been almost 2 to 3 weeks now. Me and Yash have been. We are both seniors now, so with that in mind, we are really tied up when it comes to senior applications, college apps, and school stuff too. So that's kind of a reason for being unable to upload this week. But I guarantee you, this video is gonna make it up to you guys. Starting it off, we're gonna go through each of the 32 teams and just kind of give our whole analysis of like what's been happening these past 3 weeks. What are we shocked by? Just overall our view on each team. So I'm gonna get it started off, and I'm
Well,
looking at
English, just one other thing, Achielles. So we're kind of doing it as far as a structural thing is kind of we're
right.
gonna do a five like a 5 words or less kind of game, right? For most teams, we're gonna
Yeah.
give like 5 words or
I
less.
I guarantee you, no way we're gonna beat this. I guarantee you, 5 words for a 3 week mishappens. Okay, but
I
hey
mean,
guys,
if you want to
I'm a
if you want to
player.
elaborate,
I'm a
you
true
elaborate,
player.
right?
I'm
So
a true
that's
player. I'm a true player. But I'm just saying, 5 words is gonna be tough. But you know what? I'll take your challenge. So we're gonna start off with the Lions. 5 words. Goff, nasty, tough. They win. Five. That's the 5 word thing. But I have to give a bit of I have to give a bit more flavor if you know what I mean. This Lions team has gone in and in the first 3 weeks blown the NFL apart. I seriously think so because defensively improved a lot. Offensively, we know they have an offensive genius at OC, but Jared Goff adjusting to the system. I mean, he's been better probably than he's ever been. I think he's better than what he was with Sean McVay, to be honest, because now he's more controlled. He sees things better. He views things. He's able to see those coverages, beat those coverages. He knows what to do, and I think as a quarterback, that's so advantageous. The run game also very strong. Overall, it's just a smart, tough, dependable team, which surprisingly is not the Giants. So that's my lines. Going on to the Packers. 5 words. What's going on? That's three rather. Um, Surprisingly winning. That's my 5 words for them. I didn't expect them to be winning the way they are, but I'm not impressed. That's my analysis. That's not bad. I'm gonna give myself
I
props for
mean,
that. That is
I
not bad.
genuinely agree with you. I did not expect Love to play the way he's been playing, but hey, I mean, like the Packers fans are saying, my guy Ibrahim out there, all you need is love. I don't like that much, but whatever. Anyways,
Love from the Green Bay Packers. Love. Their
I know,
cheese
right?
stinks. That's about the love you got. Cheese stinks. That's about all the love you got. Come on,
No,
bro.
cheese sticks Philly. Cheese is Packers
No,
though.
no, no, no. The cheese stinks.
Oh,
Philly
stink. Yeah.
cheesesteak
Okay.
is nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Moving on to the Falcons. This is another team. Uh
Okay.
this is what okay, 5 words.
Five. Hey, five. You put me on the spot. I'm putting you on the spot. Five on them.
Run game, run game, rules, Ritter, good. Okay, and I'm gonna explain a little bit of context. Ritter has been playing a little better than I thought he would, right? But this
Okay.
team has been
Facts.
winning because of the
Facts.
run game. I know you did not exactly have high praise for Arthur Smith. I was a little better on, more confident in him. But he is schematically, he's used the weapons that he's had, especially in the run game, something that he did even going back to his days in Tennessee, really well. And I think he's shown that he's a capable coach. But this Falcons team has a lot of work to do before we really talk about them a little more. As far as the Jaguars, um, overrated, but Trevor, but okay, but Trevor wins. I'm just gonna say, but this is not this is it's
I'll
hard to
finish
put
it for you.
five.
I'll finish it for you. Trevor massively underperformed.
That's not what I was gonna say. I was gonna say more like
Oh
Trevor
come.
keeps the. I was gonna say Trevor keeps this team alive at points.
It does not. I'm
Here's the
serious.
thing,
I
like
am so
I don't know.
okay.
It's an
Finish it. Finish it.
interesting thing with the Jags. It's like he's there, but he's not. Like he makes the right plays, but he's been playing really, really bad over the last few weeks, which is an interesting dynamic. I'm interested to see how the Jags play in the next few games. But for you, moving on, you got the next team, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, you know what this reminds me of? I'll say this clearly. Doug Peterson has this thing. Great season. That's what's happened. Eagles had a Super Bowl season. You
Honestly, I
hear
thought
anything?
the 2018 year was the 2019 year was where he really started stinking.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I'm saying, gradual decrease. In this one, it's just an exponential decrease. So, going on now. Going on to the Los Angeles Rams. Surprised, Puka, who, and then McVay, smart. That's the 5 words I can
Oh
sum up
my
here.
God. That was yes.
Yeah, I think it was. I'm
Those were
feeling
the
pretty good.
perfect words.
Hey, dude, I'm serious. You pulled up some random stuff with Spencer Rittler and then Trevor Lawrence is able to hold this team together for a long amount of time. That's what you started up, okay? This is not at all bad. Puka who? I'm serious. Everybody in the league after the first game asked Puka who, because this man came in and he blew the entire place up. Like 15 receptions, 150 yards, or something crazy like that. Even against the Niners, which I did point out, their cornerbacks are a weakness. He was able to put up decent amount of yards, and he was playing fairly well against the Niners. A tough defense, to say the least. I am surprised at the way their offense is kind of playing. I'm not gonna lie. I know the Niners was a bit of a digress, but their offense has been playing pretty well. Um, that's my overall analysis of the Rams defense. Better than expected, but not great. Now going on to the Indianapolis Colts. Now, Yash, I'm gonna get at you here a little bit. I am gonna get at here a little bit. Shane Steichen showed everyone up. That's a sentence. That's a sentence. Come on. Think about it. Man takes Gardner Minshew. His mustache is one of the please. Back hair with that mustache does not flow together. Okay, I'm just saying it, plain and simple. He comes in.
Get me
He
last year, huh? That's
look.
bigger
Come
than
on.
me last year. Wow.
No, no. You want me to be honest here?
Sure.
You looked worse. So now with Gardner Minshew here, man went to Baltimore, beat Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh, who, if you guys haven't watched NFL films, have had an undefeated preseason since 2018, 23 undefeated preseason games. That's kind of crazy. But they beat John Harbaugh, Lamar Jackson at Ravens. They beat like if you really think about it, they've actually done very well from an offensive standpoint, and I expected this with Jonathan Taylor. Obviously, this has been kind of really a way. Anthony Richardson's not there. But even with everything, I expected this to happen, but Shane Steichen showed everyone up. Beat that sentence. I dare you to beat that sentence in this episode.
Okay.
Try it.
Okay. Let me just start off by going off what you said with the Rams. Yeah, I mean, Puka Nacua, who I mean, the minute I saw that number on the screen when I saw the Seahawks Rams game, I signed him up for my fantasy team as soon as that week ended. I was like, who the hell is this guy? And I'm like, well, it
You know,
doesn't matter. I'm getting on my fantasy team.
interestingly, he reminded me of Terrell Owens. I'm not gonna lie, he reminded me of Terrell Owens in the way that this, not just it's not maybe physically, but the route running reminded me a lot. The height, the route running, it reminded me of T.O. But also probably because T.O. had that one crazy game with like 18 or 20 catches, and then this guy had 15. That's probably the reason why I connected it. But
But I mean, here's the other thing. Like you have been criticizing the Rams receiving game before.
yeah,
Last
I
episode.
was. That's why I'm
So
saying I'm shocked.
this is
That's
gonna
why I'm
this
saying
that's
I'm
what yeah,
shocked.
I know that I'm shocked too because I didn't know these guys were good. Tutu Atwell and Puka Nacua.
Okay, let's be
I'm
honest.
glad Cooper
Van
cut to
Jefferson is
that.
nowhere to be found. Van Jefferson is nowhere to be
That
found.
is true. That is true.
Okay,
I'll give you that.
so
But I mean, still, I mean, this is I mean, with those two guys, if Van Jefferson
this
plays to
could
how
be
he
a
showed a
playoff
few
team.
years
This
ago,
could be a playoff team. This
this is,
may be
I
a
mean,
stretch, but it
forget
could be a
playoff
playoff
team.
team.
That receiving core might be one of the best in
Yeah.
the league at that point, right? And then their defense, as far as Raheem Mostert I mean, he's put up some incredible game plans, even though the defense is not as good.
It's not
Right? They're
close.
not talented, but he's impressed me with his defensive scheme.
Yeah, that's
Sean
true.
McVay's a good coach. So that's all I gotta say. And you nailed it with the Colts. But I am gonna one up you as far as what you said with the sentence.
Oh,
Dolphins. I got four words,
um,
and that's it. I'm not even gonna say a fifth word. I told you so. I told you that Tua Tagovailoa was going to be elite. I told you that he would be in the MVP conversation. I didn't expect him to be this good, granted, but he was good. The Dolphins are good. They don't need Jalen Ramsey right now, it seems, because their defense is still playing pretty good. And the fact of the matter is, they're stepping up in key situations. Their offense, oh my God, we're going to get to that later on in this episode. And I mean, holy crap, 70 points is just
yeah,
insane. I
mhm,
still cannot believe that to this day.
yeah.
I made a few back in 2015, Dolphins had a game where they scored 41 points before halftime against the Texans.
Mm,
That was a
mhm.
game Jarvis Landry became really famous. Um, and I joke with my dad, being, a dumb 8-year-old kid, not knowing how many times teams score 70. I told my dad, they're going to score 70 at this point. My dad laughed at me. He's like, oh, yeah, sure, sure, sure. And they didn't even, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't even score a single point
Second half,
in
then
the
score
second
single.
half. This game, I
I
was
watched
joking.
that
My
game.
dad came back from someplace, and I was just joking with him, like, oh, what if they score 70? I see by the second half, I'm score 70. I lost my mind.
Yeah,
It
I
was
mean,
just, yeah,
it's not a normal thing. I mean, that's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, go on.
And
Sorry.
then we got the Buffalo Bills. I'm gonna say this 2022 version of, and this is like an abbreviation as the word. Um, Actually, no. Well, this is gonna be 6 words. I'm just gonna say 2021 version of
No,
2017 Steelers.
you broke the rule. You broke the rule, man.
How? How?
How
How?
could
I didn't say. I didn't say it. I didn't break the rule. It's 2021 version of 2017 Steelers. That's 5 words.
just
Because
using numbers now? Just using numbers now.
yeah,
That's
it
fairly
works.
open. Okay, go
No,
ahead. Go
but
ahead.
it's a not
Go ahead.
word in that sense.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Here's the thing:
Go
that
ahead.
Steelers team, right? We forget that they had a relatively easy schedule that year. None of their teams in their division were that good. Specifically, the Browns, right, who went 0-16. That schedule of theirs was relatively weak because if I'm not mistaken, that was the year, yeah, that they faced the AFC East, which was also
Mhm,
pretty weak that year. And the only team that they really played was the Patriots. And granted, they played amazing against the Patriots, should have won that game. But
should
that
have.
was the schedule that they had. And them being 13-3, I think masked a lot of flaws in the team, especially after Shazier got hurt. In a
Mhm.
similar way, I see the same thing with this Bills team.
Hmm.
They knock up, they are really, really damn good. They look like the best team in the world when they play against weak teams like the Washington Commanders and the
Yeah.
Las Vegas Raiders. But then when they play a team, even though the Jets are not like amazing, their defense is still spectacular. Um, and they could not do anything against that team. And I'm not saying that means they can't do anything against elite defense, but it
Mhm.
just to me seems as if they just like they're super inconsistent, and that's a huge concern for a team with as high expectations as they do. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
Okay, so you went to the Dolphins, and okay, look, I'm not, and I'll be very honest with you. I was wrong. I'm not ashamed to say it. So, because here's the thing. Can I be honest? Everyone in the league was wrong. Everyone who knows football was wrong. Because no matter how much of a fan of Tua you are, you can say he's an MVP candidate. This offense was never expected by any person.
Oh, not even
Josh,
close.
you know it too. This
Not even
offense
close.
has never been expected. You can quote me on this. I did say Tua, the Dolphins were going to be a playoff contender. They were going to be a good team. I didn't know Aaron Rodgers was going to go down. I didn't know Josh Allen was going to be playing the way he has been playing. And I didn't know the Dolphins could do this. To be honest, no one did know the Dolphins could do this. So, just as a defense, I am putting it out there, but I am wrong, and I'm 100% going to take it. Frankly, I'm happy that I'm taking because this team is blowing people apart. So, I am happy in that way. I agree with you from the Dolphins aspect. Bills aspect, slightly disagree. I'm not going to say that they have one of the easier schedules around in the NFL right now. I think they have, if you really look, I mean, they're playing the Patriots. Look at the easy teams relatively. You could say the Giants and the Jaguars based on the way they've been playing. Bucks, I'm not sold because their defense is stellar. You're gonna say the Broncos are obviously there. Jets again because their offense with Zach Wilson being there, you could say again. That's really the couple of teams that are like relatively easy. Not other than that, I don't see many other easy teams. So that's my perspective on it. But again, it's not. I don't think it's a bad shout for what you said. I'm gonna go on now to probably a more interesting one. The 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys. This is one. And Yash, you know what? I'm going to take more time for myself in this one.
Okay.
Because these are two teams that I'm passionate about. The Dallas Cowboys, I've hated my entire life. I will continue to hate for every single time I see that stupid star. But I'll say this. I'm just going to say 5 words. The D is back in Dallas.
That's six, but okay, I'll give you that.
Okay, but here's the thing. This is why I'm doing 5+1 here. Because this defense is above any other defense that we're seeing in the NFL right now. I'm serious, okay? I know the Cardinals game went awry and everything happened there, but I'm going to be completely honest here with you. The reason for that team falling off at Arizona partially is a mental aspect, guaranteed, because they just thought they were going to go in and win. The other thing was the fact that this offense cannot convert in the red zone. See, the thing is this: when the offense doesn't convert in the red zone, immediately the other side has a mental boost, like a boost. Because in their mind, they're thinking, I can run the ball 15 times and get 5 yards. And I know that team's not gonna is gonna get a field goal at maximum. That's their thought process at the end of it. And that's what Jonathan Gannon went in saying to his team, I bet. So for that defense, in that way, I think it was just a mental collapse. I really do. But from a defensive standpoint, this team has been just heroic and I regret saying I'm scared. I'm really scared to say this, but for the first time in 25 years, for the first time, Dallas Cowboys fans have like this 58, like 60% reasonable reason to say the Dallas Cowboys will go to the Super Bowl based on the way that defense is playing and based on the way the offense has been able to convert for the past 2 weeks. Last week was different, but that's my perspective on it. The San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco 49ers, dude. You know what? Okay, I'm going to pass it on to you because that's your team and I want you to take that because I don't want to, I think you're going to have the line for that. I'm going to go with the New England Patriots here and I'm going to be brutally honest. Defense, incredible. Offense needs work. Plain and simple. I think I've summed up the entire team in those 5 words.
Yeah.
Christian Gonzalez, that pick on Tua Tagovailoa. Come on. Like that's just insane. The length, the speed, the hands, everything. He could have played receiver. Like that's how talented this guy is. And Bill Belichick is this guy's one of the best rookie cornerbacks, maybe the best rookie cornerback that we've seen in the past 3 weeks. Seriously, this guy's locked down every receiver he's gone against. And let me remind you something about that Dolphins offense real quick. The Dolphins offense has averaged, if I'm not wrong, 43 points per game. That's some statistics coming out of my mouth. 43 points per game in the past 3 weeks. Tua Tagovailoa averaging, or the team rather, averaging like 500 yards a week. Their team right now, if you think about it, the six fastest speeds run by any NFL player in the league is all for the Dolphins. So from an offensive and an athletic standpoint, this is where they at. They scored 24 points against the Patriots.
Yep.
413 yards a game, and they scored 24 points against the Patriots. Let's just keep that out there. This team scored 70 points against a Sean Payton Broncos team, which is not the worst defense in the NFL. Let's be honest. That Broncos team's coming in this NFL season was a pretty good defense, roster wise. This is, I mean, you think about how the Patriots have played. It's frustrating. It's frustrating as a Patriots fan because this is the thing. This team is this close. And I seriously think I think it's this close to being of like a AFC championship contender. They just need a bit more clarity or continuity with that offense. Once that happens, this team is bound to make the AFC championship because they have the defense to get them there. They're a lockdown defense. I think they're ninth right now when it comes to pass defense, top 10 when it comes to the rush defense. If I'm not wrong, top 5 when it comes to yards after the catch. So, like, when you look at these statistics, they are I can't believe I'm seeing statistics, but like if you think about it, this team right now defensively is so good. They just need their offense to step it up just a bit more. Last week they didn't show it against the Jets. They did not show it against the Jets. They haven't showed it. First of all, I personally agree against the call with the whole my Gesicki call. That was stupid. I feel he got the down, but refs are refs. Sometimes it's just stupid calls, and that's how it goes. I honestly like. I'm sorry I'm taking a lot of time with this, Yash, but I'm just frustrated. I'm frustrated because this team is almost there. It's almost there. It just needs a bit more tweaking, fine tuning, and then it'll be there. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm just
Honestly,
frustrated.
you gave me, well, one, your 5 words were spot on with the Patriots. I don't really have much to say on Dallas. I think you nailed it there. As far as the only thing I would say is that I disagree in the sense that the Cardinals loss was a big deal. In the sense, I do think it was a big deal. It's interesting because to me, that felt like the same old Dallas loss. Not in the same way as previous years. Usually it's like, oh, they start off red hot, but you know that they're bad and then they'll have some loss. This was
But
more
that's
just a
not the deal.
shocking upset, right? And in a way,
That's
I
not
don't,
the.
yeah.
It is a shocking upset. You think about it. Jonathan Gannon has probably taken in. If you think about the coaching cadences, he's taken in probably the worst team in the NFL when
No,
it
no,
comes
no,
to
no.
the Arizona
No,
Cardinals.
that's what I said. It's a shocking off. It's a shocking
Oh,
upset.
you're saying it's a shocking
Yeah,
loss.
yeah. I'm saying,
Yeah,
but what I'm
I agree with the shocking loss, but I'm just saying it's not a concerning loss. That's my
That's what I'm
point.
saying. I do think it's a concerning loss in the grand scheme of things, not just because of the loss itself.
I don't think
You have to
so.
remember one of the big reasons I think they lost was because Josh Dobbs played incredible for the Cardinals, and that's partially because Trayvon Diggs got hurt. I think the fact that he
That's
got,
true. That's
I
you
think
know
that
what?
was a little bit
Guaranteed.
of the psychological thing that you were talking about. They felt so confident about their defense, forgetting that they didn't have Trayvon
The
Diggs, but at the
cornerbacks to
same
back
time,
them up. I
it's more of a
agree.
mental
I
thing because
agree.
they didn't have
I
their
agree.
best cornerback. So it's interesting. As far as the Patriots go, all I'll say is that um, you nailed them. You nailed them pretty much as far as play. I mean, when you could hold a team to 24 points a game that is averaging, almost 600 yards of offense a game, that is
It's
just, I mean,
600.
it's
I'm
it's
mistaken.
it's
I thought it was
500.
400.
The calculation I got was
I thought it was 513 or
550
something.
yards.
550 yards. Okay, I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, when you're doing that, I mean, that is just something that is spectacular. And Bill Belichick is a master at using schemes, using his players in so many
This
verses.
is the thing, man. Dude's 70 years old, and he's
Exactly.
figuring these midgets out.
I do not want to hear a single person, a single Patriots fan or otherwise, ever say that Bill Belichick is not a good coach or is overrated because he couldn't win rings without Tom Brady. Yeah, he,
Yeah,
he didn't have
that
Tom
was
Brady.
okay.
Sure, whatever. Who
That
cares?
that that thing, it stings when it comes from a non-Patriots fan. It stabs me when a Patriots fan says it. Because
Then,
here's the
then,
thing.
then, then do me this favor. There's a fan on YouTube by the name of Billy Bob. He is one
Yeah,
of the most annoying people I've ever seen. I don't know if he's a troll or what. He doesn't seem like a troll. He just seems like a delusional fan in the game. He also says like Aaron Rodgers, the most overrated quarterback in the history of the game,
yeah.
stuff like that. He just, I mean, his profile picture is the Flying Elvis logo with the troll face meme on it. He
Yeah.
just annoys the hell out of me.
Because the thing is this, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, it's like a homogeneous solution. If you guys have taken chem, it's like a homogeneous solution.
Yeah.
It's perfect. You don't see it's just clear. Everything is clear. You know, it's fluid. It's fluid. So like it's just clear. That's all you need.
Right.
This team is not clear. It's a heterogeneous solution. The defense is star. You see that oil and water. The oil is seen clearly. The water, though, it's rusty. It's nasty. It hasn't been doing anything. It's just been sitting on the sideline. It's getting nasty, dirty. It's not mixing. It's not gelling at all. That's the problem with this.
So then
Seriously.
do me a favor, my man. You ever meet Billy Bob or see his channel? Just like roast the absolute hell out of him for me. Do me
Okay.
that favor. Please show him why use that
Yeah.
coaching knowledge of yours and
Hmm.
show him why Bill Belichick is
No,
one of
buddy.
the
I
greatest
got you.
coaches
I got you.
ever. All right. Please,
I
I
got you.
beg of you. Please shut that guy up.
Okay.
Anyway,
And now, please, I'm begging you. Please do the Niners. I'm begging you to do the
sure,
Niners.
sure, sure, sure. Without a doubt. As far as I mean, honestly, as far as the San Francisco 49ers, I don't have much to say of them because I feel like they've done everything
Five
I
words.
expected.
I need to hear it.
Okay,
The
here we
five
go.
word.
Exactly what I expected. This is a championship contender team. This is the
Uh,
in the league. This is what
exactly what I
I
expected.
expected. 5 words or
You
less.
downgraded them. You
I,
downgraded
I
them.
didn't downgrade them. There's nothing to say about a team that I know is going to win the Super Bowl. I know that they're going to win the Super Bowl. I know that they're the best team. I know that they got like the future 13 first team all pros this year. Maybe I'm being delusional about that. I don't care. I'm gonna say that. Christian McCaffrey,
Um,
first team all pro. Brock Purdy, top 5 QB in the game. He has the second best QBR
yeah.
in the
Yep.
game.
He does. He
Look at
does. He
Deebo
does.
Samuel, God, Brandon Ayuk,
Okay,
best
stop
tight
it.
end in the league.
He had a great game against the Giants. The previous two games were not anything godly. Okay, so let's stop the whole God thing with Debo.
Yeah,
Pause
okay,
on that.
fair enough.
Go ahead.
Brandon
Brandon
Ayuk,
Ayuk had a
second
great game.
best PFF grade in the league. George
Yep.
Kittle, still one of the best tight ends in the league. Don't care about, oh, he's not the best receiver. He had 90 yards in
Hey,
last big deal.
First two games were not at all good from a receiving
Still
standpoint.
blocked amazing. What does it
No,
matter?
come on, just stop it. From a receiving standpoint, he was not good the
Yeah,
first two
no,
games.
receiving stamp. Who
Okay,
cares? He
that's all I'm
blocked.
just saying.
He blocked. I don't care about that. Yeah, Trent Williams is still a god.
You can't say, yeah, literally, yeah.
Nick
Oh,
Bosa,
he blocked for that. 3 sacks by one guy. He blocked for that, didn't he?
he did. He
Oh,
punched a guy with a face mask on. Trent
oh
Williams is
my God.
amazing.
No. I don't care. I don't care about Trent. Obviously, Trent's not gonna allow anybody to sack from his side. George Kittle blocking. You saw he got blown up by TJ Watt on pressures.
Look, he's TJ Watt. What do you expect?
He's one of the best tight ends in the league. If you're gonna say he's not gonna receive, you better block.
Yeah,
Rob
nobody can
Gronkowski would
stop
have
TJ
taken him
Watt.
down.
That's just you know that. But anyways, like the defense, amazing. Steve,
Yeah.
the only honestly the only problem I have with the 49ers, genuinely, they're really the only thing is that the way they played against the Rams concerned me a little. To me, it seemed like
Yes.
Steven.
There we
I
go.
don't like the whole
There
thing.
we
Like
go.
I felt I told you this. I felt like, and I said this even after you left. The Niners were like um the Niners, I felt this had the talent of being one of those historic teams like who win 14, 15 games in a season and were really dominant
Yeah.
on both sides of the
Yeah.
ball, right?
Maybe.
I don't like this whole
No, it's
thing.
actually interesting.
Steve
It's
Wilks
actually
is
interesting you bring that up because in my civics class, if you're watching this, Braden from the football team, we have mentioned him. So he's in my civics class, and we were having a discussion, and the topic brought up was this may be the most talented team roster wise that we've seen in 2 decades. And
really.
I don't think he's wrong in some ways. I mean, I can think of a few teams. Go back to the '06 Colts, or you look at the see that's where I stop because you really can't think of anything else from a roster standpoint. '06 Colts, you pause
The
because
07
you really
Patriots.
no, not from a
Really?
think about it. Think about it from a. I said the same exact thing, but from a roster standpoint, if I looked at the roster of that team and I looked at the roster of the San Francisco 49ers right now, you think about how that team's going to work, how the game is going to look like. You visualize the game. I mean, you understand. Like the thing with the Patriots is this: the roster on defense has a bunch of no names. That's how Bill Belichick works. Has a bunch of no names. We're just saying purely off a roster standpoint. Is this the best team in 2 decades? No, close. No, it's not the '07 Patriots or the '06 Colts, or if you want to be Mad Dog, the 1966 Green Bay Packers. Like I mean, it's better than them personally, but if we're looking at it from that standpoint, the roster in itself, this team is better than the '07 Patriots. The roster in itself. The roster in itself.
Wow.
The roster in itself. Talent wise, no. The thing is this for me, it's when I look at a roster, there's a couple of things I look at. Number one, talent individually. Number two, how that gels together. And then number three, visualizing the game. What type of style are they going to play? How are they going to win games? Bill Belichick is known for situational football. There have been cases where he's won 37-34 on purpose and won 6-3 on purpose. You see what I mean? It's a very situational football type team. That '07 Patriots, as great as they were, no one expected them to be as great as they were. This team, you can look at the roster and be like, this is going to be one of the great teams that we're going to be talking about. That's the
Yeah,
difference that I'm
see,
seeing from the
this is
roster.
where I'm kind of shocked. Look, I think this might be the best team, maybe, that I've seen probably since that I can say legitimately I've seen probably since, maybe like the 2013 Seahawks, right? That's the closest comparison as far as a team that I
I
can
would say this is
compare
better.
them. I
I
still
would say
think
this
this
is
the
better.
Niners team is better. I agree with you there, but that's
Yeah.
the last team I can say, is in that tier of there, right?
See,
The
I
Eagles
agree.
were
See,
another
this
team.
this is
Last
where
year, I
this is
thought this Eagles team was that good. Okay, that team had,
the
seven.
Eagles team was very, but here's the difference. Here's the difference. When you saw that roster and you see this roster, it's different.
Yeah.
That roster, you couldn't make a whole lot of sense out of it. You
Okay.
see what I mean? Like Jalen Hurts, you knew he had talent, but did you know he was going to be him? No.
Yeah, I get what you're
You look
saying.
at this team now, you think about what's CMC. He's going to run, he's going to catch. You have Elijah Mitchell who's going to run if CMC is going to go out of bounds on the catch. George Kittle's going to get that block, he's going to go outside. Fred Warner's going to come inside. The cornerback's going outside. Like I can talk more, but like you just see this team from a roster standpoint, it goes above and beyond. Anyways, I'm sorry for interrupting you. Go
No,
ahead.
no, no, not at all. No, I agree with you, but like, that's the thing. I feel like there are a few teams that you did miss though that I feel like could be in that conversation.
I
2010
don't think so.
Steelers on paper, that team.
No,
Their
no,
receiving
no,
core
no,
was
no,
amazing.
no. Not
Quarterback,
compared. No, 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 no. Here's the thing. They cannot. They would not have been able to as efficiently run, pass, and confuse defenses that the
you're talking about
49ers
from a
offense roster
versatility
wise can do.
standpoint.
From
Okay,
yeah, from
then I get
I'm
what you're
talking about
saying.
it from all standpoints.
Okay.
From all standpoints.
Then okay,
Toughness wise,
then I might understand. I still think the '07 Patriots on paper. We forget like this team had like a lot of players who were like Hall of Fame caliber, had career years. You had Junior Seau, who's a legend, who turned the
mm,
clock back 10 years. You had Mike Vrabel, who's an All Pro that year. Teddy
mm,
Bruschi, honestly. You got Teddy Bruschi, who was like, he's a borderline Hall of Famer, in my opinion, honestly.
yeah, yes,
Dante
yeah.
Samuel was amazing. Rodney Harrison, you and I both agree on how great he is. Richard
Hmm.
Seymour, I think, has been in the conversations for being a Hall of Fame. That defense was superb, and they had all these.
He is a Hall of Famer, just to confirm. Richard Seymour
Oh,
is
he
a
is?
Hall of
Okay,
Famer.
good. Okay, I did not know that. And then the offense, a lot of people forget that offensive line was like in their prime, like one of the best. They had like 3 or 4 Pro Bowlers on that offensive line. Then you got guys like Ben Watson, who he will. A lot of people consider him to be one of the most underrated tight ends, like the Darren Waller
Yeah,
almost
yeah, yeah.
a level of play
But
go.
okay.
Randy Moss, Wes Welker, Brady. This team was that loaded.
Not just in a roster stand from a team. Definitely better. It's definitely the better team when it comes to the play and what it had done. But just based off the names, and you imagine the team. If you were in 2007, you saw those names, and then now you look at this team, you saw those names, and you said who would have done better. I personally would have picked this team. That's my standpoint. Anyways, continue on.
Season goes on. You're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm just seeing from that standpoint.
Okay. It's definitely a very interesting conversation, in my opinion.
Right.
Anyways, moving on. As far as the next team goes, I'm gonna talk about. You talked about the opponents of the Dallas Cowboys and the New England Patriots. So I'm going to talk about the 49ers opponent this week, and that's the Arizona Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Not as bad. Dobbs, good? Question mark. Yeah, you got the question mark as a punctuation.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like, I did feel like people were hating on this team too much. Like if you see the memes on this team and all, like a lot of
Yeah.
people were saying, "Oh, this is like the historically bad, like the 0-16 Browns, 0-16 Lions, and then
They were looking like it. Let's not
I
lie.
don't think so. I don't think so. I said that like for those who don't know, like we did not get to finish the episode as a
Yeah.
last episode due to time constraints.
Mm-hmm.
But I did talk about like by myself, kind of the
You
Cardinals,
did. That's true.
like this team that is not as bad as people say.
Man, Yash is right all the time. When is this man wrong? Man got the Dolphins right. Man got the Cardinals right, and I'm sitting here crying because the Patriots. I mean,
We'll get to the Chargers, man. But
I am no. Don't you dare start the Chargers. I am starting the Chargers.
I'll let you speak on the Chargers, but I'll talk about them later on. But as far as the Cardinals go, like I thought, like this is the thing. Like a lot of people criticize Jonathan Gannon about like his coaching style, the things that he says, like like what was it like? oh, did you have fire in your gut when you drove or took the bus here or something like that? And like
Yeah.
I saw the comments on that video and people are like, oh, if he said that in my face, I'd laugh. I'd laugh. Like, dude, what the hell are you doing? Right? Like, no, like I don't think you understand this. Like Jonathan Gannon was the defensive coordinator of Nick Sirianni, who I guarantee you is 1,000 times weirder than Jonathan Gannon as a personality. Like I don't know if you remember this, but like in 2021, the first year he was there, he gave like an analogy where he was talking about how to nurture a team by like
Yeah.
making a
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
growing it like a flower, right? I mean, that's the thing though. Players like that. This authentic. Like whether you're a Chuck Noll who's like just a gruff like grouch who like
Chuck
that
No doesn't
works for
say
them
anything. Chuck No
because
doesn't say anything. Actually, Rocky Blyer, just a side note, Rocky Blyer, who was the running back for the Steelers. So there was this game where they were down against, I think in 78, they were down against a team going into halftime. And I mean, this team is like riled up because it's against the Oilers, and Earl Campbell and Donnie Shell just knocked him out, knocked him out. There's like this famous hit clip, right? He just knocks him out. And then Earl doesn't come back in the game. And it's halftime now. The team started to strategize. Chuck, he just goes in front of the entire team. And then he's like, we know our mistakes. Let's go on the field and then not do them again. Not
bro,
do
I
them
feel
again.
like
That's all he says. There's
Chuck
never
Noll
been
and
a
Mike
coach like
Tomlin are
him.
so similar that way, man. But like, yeah, I mean, I
Tomlin
get
really? No, Tomlin's got some pizzazz to him. He's got a bit more
he does, but
energy.
like, did you hear the comment he said where it's like, there's some times where I'm like, I don't ask questions because like because I don't want to hear excuses. He has that like same nonchalantness
I
about
guess
him.
like yeah, no excuses, no excuses
Yeah,
type
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of attitude.
yeah.
I agree,
But
but
like going back to what I'm saying, like whether you're a guy like Chuck Noll or a guy like I don't know another like stern coach that way you can give
Tom Landry,
Tom Landry, yeah, like whether you want to you one of those guys or you're like a modern day coach who's more like laid back and all Mike McDaniel and all
flamboyant,
that,
flamboyant.
yeah,
Yeah.
like whether you're that, I mean, I feel like authenticity is the big thing. That's what really sells players. If you're fake,
Hmm.
players are going to call that. They don't like that stuff because it's not because then you're kind of lying to the team. You're not that's not a leadership in any sort of way. So like
Hmm.
to me, Gannon has kind of shown that authenticity and has given his team an ability to fight in spite of their lack of talent. He's put the fire in their gut, so to say. And I mean, for that reason, Josh Dobbs has been playing well. I mean, it's impressive what he's done. I mean, he has a plus 60 quarterback rating, which is
Yeah.
generally average. He is, I mean, I'm really interested
Dobbs
in
has
the
impressed me.
Cardinals
I'll give
team.
you that. Dobbs
I
has
mean,
impressed me.
that was the only reason. Here's the thing. I put the Cardinals last place on my standings because
Hmm.
the one thing I thought was their quarterback room was so bad that they were going to fail because of that. But Dobbs has been playing well. So if he continues to play like this,
Well enough.
yeah, the
Well
Cardinals
enough.
could
Yeah.
be really, really take it to a like they could be better than a lot of people expect.
Yeah, I think that's a better way to put it. Because let's be honest, it's not a playoff team by any means,
It's
but
not.
they're gonna be better than what people expect. I think you said that wonderfully. I'm gonna go now to a more emotional one, and I'm gonna go to the Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh, hold on. Where are my sunglasses? Shoot.
Stop it! Stop it!
I'm just
Stop
hold on.
it!
I'm just gonna lay back
Stop
with
it!
my feet up.
Okay, okay. You can do that 49ers easy schedule. Yeah, you can do that. No problem. Now I'm gonna say this: injury prone, just can't finish. That's really my analysis on this thing. I mean, look at this. Mike Williams, 121 yards. He had that awesome Patriots style, I think it was against the Texans when they ran it in 2016 or 17. Or 2014 against the Texans, they ran the double pass pattern and they brought it to Julian Edelman, threw it over, got a touchdown. Same exact play to Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen, by the way, 18 receptions, 257 yards. Justin Herbert, 80.5 completion percent against probably the highest blitzing team, not highest, the highest blitzing team in the NFL with 405 yards, zero interceptions, three touchdowns. This team is crazy offensively. Here's my point. Against the Miami Dolphins, this team almost beat the Miami Dolphins. Okay? Let's be very very honest. This team almost beat the Miami Dolphins. This team has not been blown up by any measure. It's not been blown up. They almost beat the Tennessee Titans. They almost lost against the Vikings. And I'm going to be very brutally honest here. I'm a Brandon Staley lover. Seriously, when it comes to his coaching, his style of play, his enthusiasm. See, coaching, and I'll say this. When I say coaching, I mean this.
That's you with Brandon Staley, man.
No, don't do that. Come on. But this is the thing. What I'm going to say. I love the way he brings the team together, the energy that he has, the quotes. Like he's the type of coach that you need. He's strong voice. He's kind of like a Vince Lombardi in that type of way. He's gonna be hard on you, but he's gonna bring you together eventually. That's what I kind of get from him, especially this season. But I personally think this, and it hurts me to say this. By this time, if this defense doesn't pick it up, Brandon Staley will be fired, and and Kellen Moore will become the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. That's what will happen. And I
Oh,
have a very strong feeling about this for a couple of reasons. For a couple of reasons, this offense has not been this deadly looking with Joe Lombardi, and I personally think this. Everybody underestimated the Chargers coming into the season. Every single person has underestimated the Chargers. No matter how good that offense has been, they've underestimated the Chargers every single time and they've underestimated them for the wrong reasons. Right reason would have been they just haven't been able to finish. I completely agree with that. This team has always been so good up till the last 4 5 minutes of that fourth quarter. That's where they're messing it up every single time. The 4th and 2 call. I'm usually a fourth. I had the sweatshirt before. Unfortunately, I don't have it anymore. It actually tore apart. So I can't have it. But the fourth and Staley, I had that sweatshirt. That was not a fourth and Staley moment. On a 4th and 2 at your own 22 with 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 seconds left or something like that, it's better to punt the ball. I understand Justin Jefferson has burned you all game, but it's better to punt the ball. I was not at all happy with that play call. And a fullback, that's the type of thing you run on Madden Mobile when it comes to, on a fourth down conversion, the fullback pressure coming inside. They had dominated the front line scrimmage. The run game was probably the worst thing that happened to the Chargers the entire game, and they went with that. From that standpoint, again, Kellen Moore, the reason why he got fired from Dallas, he couldn't finish it from his style when it came to offensive coordinator and judging everybody. So he kind of proves it here. But at the same time, I do. Uh, here's the thing. I'm now kind of just like let the Chargers do what they want. I've given up. I've given up because here's the thing. It's not like I'm a quitter or anything. I'm not that type of guy. But I've given up because here's the thing. This team is just so injury prone. Mike Williams goes out for 121 yards. It's probably one of the best games of the season so far, and then he gets an ACL tear. Like, what are the odds? Like, what are the Chargers supposed to do? What are the Chargers supposed to do? Their offensive line is always battered. Like, in 3 weeks, they've lost, I think, three starters when it comes to the offensive line. Their offensive line has always been battered. They lose Mike Williams now for the entire season. Forget about 8 weeks. Lose him the entire season. Austin Eckler, who knows what he's about to do? And I'm very, very happy that he's actually taking it off like this. I think he's taking it off for money wise, and I think he deserves the money, so he's taking it off. I don't think it's an injury thing personally, but that's just me. Keenan Allen, he's dominant, but how dominant can he be? This defense has to step it up. They had 4 sacks last week, agreed. And Kirk Cousins threw for 376 yards. You allow a 50-yard catch for Justin Jefferson off a slant route going to the inside where the cover two safeties should go on the man at once like that. That didn't happen. But 4 sacks, Joey Bosa has been playing very well in these past three games. But for me, it's just we have to finish it. In the next 3 weeks, if I see us finishing it, I'm very happy. The other thing is this. I'm sorry, Yash, I'm taking this on a tangent, but I have to. RC from ESPN said this. This team has never had a dominant win. I 100% agree with that. Last year against the Cleveland Browns, won 30-28. Lost against the Jaguars, 31-30. We've been close games every single time. I understand situational football is a thing, but you don't need to keep it one score game every single time. The defense at some point has to step up. And I personally think for Brandon Staley's genius, this team has to go simplistic. Joe Gibbs, when he came into the 1980 Redskins, he brought the whole Air Coryell offense. They were the number one passing offense in the league, had nearly generated 300 passing yards per game for the first 5 games. Problem was they were 0-5. They went to the run game next season, win the Super Bowl. You have to adapt to what you have, not necessarily bringing the genius that you have. That's what Brandon Staley has been doing. Unfortunately, as much as I love his whole the foundation, what he's been able to do, as much as I love all of that, it does pain me to see the state the Chargers are in because we're not adapting to the situation in need and we're not able to finish as a result. That's me. I'm done with the Chargers there. Los Angeles Raiders. First of all, this upcoming game we've got beat. There's no shot that the Raiders are going to come in and blow something off. I don't care if Devontae Adams has 200 yards. They're not going to beat us. No shot, no way. 5 words. Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels utterly disappointed me. That's my five. That's my 5 words. I thought he was gonna come in, make Josh Jacobs just as good as last year. Man's nowhere to be found. The offensive line moves about 2 feet in front, trying to block something. They honestly get pancaked, other than pancaking a defensive lineman. They don't do anything. And then Devontae Adams. I mean, post game speech. What else is he supposed to say? Yeah, we're having a great season. We're definitely making progress on all our lines. What is he supposed to say? It's a frustrating thing for him, but I'm happy because next week we're crushing them, or this week we're crushing them, or actually no no. Let me go back. That we're not crushing them. We're gonna beat them because that's Chargers style.
I'm
Just do,
okay. As
Yosh,
far as the
please,
Raiders go, you nailed it, right? There's really
please,
not
just
much to say about the Raiders, right?
for my heart, just for my heart, just don't say a single thing about the Chargers, man.
Okay, no,
Just move on.
I'm going. I'm sorry, man.
Just
I
no, just move on.
I have to, man. I'm sorry. This is something that I really feel strongly about. I'll go light where I can because I do think that there is some silver linings in here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go too harsh on Staley's last, that last play call against the Vikings because
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I don't
Honestly, I think you
as bad
should.
as people say. I do disagree with it in the grand scheme of things because I think the most
I
important thing
don't
about
get
that
you.
play
I
was
don't
at the
get you.
22-yard line, their own 22-yard line. But
Yeah.
under the situation, I honestly don't think it was the worst call.
No, 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 no. It is a worse call. I'll give you a couple of reasons why. Situational wise, you're at the 22-yard line. So classic. I've actually I read a document about this actually. So Walsh, if you guys actually look at this website, this is something called Free X Playbooks. There's a website where you can find playbook after playbook after playbook from 1960s to the 2013s. It's a wonderful website, and there's quarterback playing when it comes to that. Walsh talks about the 2 minute drills. So let's say now, Josh, if we're talking about Brandon Staley, right? He went for that. This is the thought process that should have gone on. If I don't punt for this and I go for it, what happens is I'm gonna go and I'm gonna allow Kirk Cousins to come in. They're gonna start off with a 5 back set, like they've started off from every single 2 minute that's been going on. With the 5 man set, they're going for short yardage, take time off the clock, and then they're gonna run the ball again. Next one is gonna be a passing yard. They're gonna target Justin Jefferson on the inside. Wait on that. Then they're gonna call a timeout or it's gonna spike the ball. They didn't, which is a horrible thing. But that's exactly what happened. I mean, look at the film. That's
It's fair
exactly what
enough. I
happened.
mean, it's a fair
Okay,
point.
they went to that, and then after that, what's going to happen is they're going to run the ball again. Then they're going to call, and then if they have 2 timeouts, they're going to call it again, which they did have. I think they had 2 timeouts. They're going to burn another timeout again. Once that's done, they're going to bring another close eye right type offense with just or maybe one back, one receiver, two tight end type thing. They're going to fake it to the running back, go to the outside, throw it over, touchdown. That's exactly how it would have gone. Granted, Kirk Cousins didn't make that boneheaded play, and incredible catch by Murray. By the way, that was an incredible interception.
Yeah.
But that's exactly how it had gone.
It's
To the point. I'm saying this to the point. Now, Staley should have also said this. He could have done this. He could have taken a safety. I'll explain how this
yeah,
works.
that
So
honestly, yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah.
what he could have done is he could have taken the long snapper, threw the ball, and that would go and hit the goalpost. That would have been a safety. With that, he would have given them the ball, and they would have still had to come, right? Even then, they would be down. They would have won. What it was a 28-26, right? They would still be down a couple of yards when it came to that, and they would have also taken down. They would have taken down clock time. They would have lost about 30 seconds in that. Kirk Cousins wouldn't have had the time to go back and try to meddle with things or whatever it is. Fair catch would have also been not a point to bring up. Safety would have actually been one of the smartest things to do at that point. No one does it. The last time I saw someone do this, um, 2003, Patriots versus the Broncos. That's the last time I remember someone doing this. Or the Patriots versus Dolphins, someone doing this. Bill Belichick situational. But I'm just that's just the context behind how the safety works. This play call though, going for it on 4th and 2, knowing it's 22-yard line, he's burned 376 yards. I understand, Josh. It's not his worst call. There have been cases where he's been more dangerous,
Yeah,
but he's been more successful than not when it comes to these 4th downs. Let's be honest here. But
that is true.
it's like
The thing
yeah.
is with him is that he's just over obsessive about it at times, right? That's where I think he eventually loses people with it, whether that's fans or his own players. I don't know
But
about
here's
that,
the thing.
but
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, here's the other thing. Like the this is where what I have the problem. I looked up the numbers for this. The Chargers hadn't like generally when Brandon Staley talks about this, it kind of irritates me because he'll say use the analytics as an excuse. But in certain
Mhm,
cases where he's done that, like the Raiders game 2 years ago, the final game, or
mhm,
the
mhm.
Browns last year, and he
Yeah.
uses analytics, it bothers me because the analytics don't support what he's saying at that time. This one they did,
Mhm.
right? Not by much, but like they had an 84% chance of winning when
Yeah.
if he had gone for it. And it's only a 77% chance of winning had they not gone
Not gone for it.
punted. I agree with you on the safety thing, although I don't think they should have thrown the ball. I think they should have just kind of run the punter back.
Just backpedal it
Yeah.
down,
Because
kind
here's
of
the
like
thing.
Dan Orlovsky
Yeah.
type thing. I
Kirk
got you.
Cousins
Or
has
Jimmy Garoppolo, but
yeah, but Kirk Cousins I think has a second or third most game-winning drives of any current
yeah.
quarterback right now. But he has his success rate of the of
No,
drives
yeah.
under 30 seconds is almost close to zero. Like it's low
Hmm.
for most quarterbacks, but his is one of the worst in the league. Again, I'm not going to go into the Kirk Cousins hate, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The what's it called? As far as that goes, my problem with that play was the fact that if you're gonna go for it on that play, you got to be in full communication with Kellen Moore, and you got
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
really, really damn good play. Austin Eckler was not playing. I don't understand
Yeah.
why you're giving the ball to your running
To
back.
Josh Kelly.
4th and 1, but a
See,
fourth
here's the
and
thing. Actually, I know exactly what they gave because the thing is, Josh Kelly in the preseason has impressed by a large mile. That game he was very bad. Agree, but I think honestly this is what happened. It was actually a rollout. The thing, if you actually look
that's,
at the
that's
ball
that's what I'm
carefully,
saying. It should have been, but that's the communication
no, no,
thing.
no, no, it's not should have been. It was literally a rollout.
Then
It
why
was
are they
literally a
doing it?
rollout. No, no, no. Here's the thing. So when Herbert went for the ball, he gave it with two hand, right? Kelly literally took it. He kind of snapped it out. Kelly was the one who misread it there. That's agreed.
That is the case. Then fine. That's Kelly's
If you
That's
look at it,
Kelly's.
Keenan actually took slant, and then Everett, who was blocking, he came on the other side. That's why they were able to tackle him because the edge was coming able to
Yeah,
come in
and they
inside.
stacked the box well in that play. But that's where I feel like everybody's got to be in the same communication. That's kind of the big problem.
Yeah,
This is where
but
I'm going to rip on Brandon Staley. The fact of the
yeah,
matter is, he's supposed to be a defensive savant. And it's
yeah,
this defense that has been
yes,
considered by so many people to be talent wise a top 10 defense. I think that's a little
yeah.
bit
It
of a
is.
stretch, but this is still, pretty talented defense. They
This
have
is
some good players.
without question a top 15. Top 10 is not a
Fine,
stretch
fine.
for me,
Yeah,
but
that might work.
yeah,
But they are playing like one of the worst defenses in the game, right? They
yeah,
have
they are
6.6 yards per attempt, right? Second most in the game behind only the Broncos, whose
yeah
yards are probably skewed by the fact that they had
because of this
one
game.
part of
Yeah,
the game. They have allowed
they're 32nd when it comes to no, they're I think 15th when it comes to rushing yards allowed, 32nd when it comes to passing yards allowed after the catch, passing yards allowed, passing yards per attempt allowed.
wow,
They are
you did the research
yeah.
on that.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, no, seriously, because I was very pissed off after these 3 weeks. I was very pissed off. So with all this being said, and to agree with you, I just don't know when he's gonna click this together. We've given him 2 years. He needs to do something about this. I see. If this is the thing, if this is a top 15 defense statistically, where the Chargers are set,
Yeah.
the fact that it's not even top 20 is where this team is falling,
That
and
needs to
I
change. And
agree
Justin
completely.
Herbert, I mean, you were right about Herbert, the way he's played. He's played like an MVP. He really has. He's one of the elite quarterbacks. I don't understand one,
I
how
told
you're
you
not
so.
giving that play call. It shouldn't be a rollout. It should just be something with Herbert. If it's a rollout, it's a run. It should just be, I mean, a QB sneak would have been honestly the best option there. Herbert's
Yeah,
6'5",
yeah.
230. I mean,
They don't sneak him. He sneaked once. That was his rookie season against the Raiders.
honestly,
He
that
doesn't
I feel like
sneak.
they need to do that more. Like he's 6'5", 230, right?
I don't know. These guys try to be cute with it sometimes.
Yeah,
You
I
know
mean
that
that's
phrase
what
like they just try to
irritates
be
me about
cute.
the Chargers. Like if I had 5 words to describe them, it would be frauds and frauds
Stop
and the
it. Okay,
same crap.
no. That's definitely not the way to describe. They're not frauds. Okay, with all that being said, if you look at their offense, is it not one of the best offenses in the NFL right now? Statistically, it's actually one of the best
I would have
offenses in the
said
NFL.
that had
Has
Mike Williams not gotten hurt. I would have, yeah. But Mike Williams
no
got hurt then.
to this point, is it one of the best? Will it be?
Yeah,
Obviously not because of Mike
yeah,
Williams.
for sure.
I'm still guaranteed this is a top five, top 10 offense as far as I'm concerned. Without Mike Williams, I'm still guaranteed of that. But with Austin Eckler, if Austin Eckler comes back, there's a difference. There's a difference.
Okay,
There's a big
fair enough.
difference. Okay,
I
so
mean,
that
okay, here we go. Yeah, yeah. I mean that was a weird one,
you go
but
ahead.
no, I
Because
mean you also
I
got this
went on a
edge. Like,
tangent
we can
on
talk
this.
about the
I
Chargers.
apologize, guys. I apologize. I apologize. I know I went on a tangent on this, but I have to say it because I'm a true fan. A fan, I'm gonna give you everything, negatives and positives.
All right. I mean, here we go. As far as the next teams go, I'm gonna briefly talk about the Washington Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles. As far as the Eagles go, quiet but still very good. They have flying under the radar or flown under the radar. This is a team that has not been at full strength and is still 3-0. To me, that's extremely impressive. Hurts has not played that great, and this team is still pretty damn good. They're still pretty dominant that too. I mean, they've been playing well on both sides of the ball. Jalen Carter has been playing better than Javon Hargrave. Hargrave has not been playing bad at all. He's very good. Carter's just been better, and he's a rookie, and I think he's been exceeded both our expectations of him, right? The secondary is as good as ever with Bradbury and Slay. And as far as oh yeah, I mean no, like yeah, they're giving up big plays every now and then, but as far as the coverage numbers, if I'm not mistaken, they're both allowing less than 50%
Less
of
than
their passes.
not 50%. They're allowing 43% right now. Less
Yeah,
than
something like
43%.
that. But then as far as the offense goes, the run game, like it's what we expected. It's better than last year with DeAndre Swift
It's
and
better than it's ever been. DeAndre Swift, wow.
yeah, and then we're missing Rashad Penny too. I mean, that Eagles team is really like, I mean, this is it's I mean, they are the second best team in the NFC with potential to really match the 49ers in any way. I mean, the 49ers and the Eagles, they're in a tier of their own as far as the teams in the NFC. There's no, I don't even think the Cowboys are performing like that at some points, but they still I mean, they gotta prove themselves down the line before we can put them in the same tier as the Eagles and the 49ers.
Mhm.
And as far as the Commanders go, um, huh? What? I don't understand. Yeah, I mean, this is a like I'm just so confused by what has exactly happened. This is like, Washington, like, with the new ownership transformation and all, like I didn't expect Sam Howell to play that well, but and you don't know where this team is gonna fall with the division they're in and all. But they started the season 2-0. They had a great comeback against the Broncos. Granted, they're 0-3, but you know their offense has talent, their defense has talent, and they're actually playing on that talent. So I mean, they're a fascinating team, but
Bills was
I'm kind of
nasty.
indifferent about like where they're gonna land. So like
Bills was
nothing
nasty.
changes to me about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you when it comes to Washington for the most part. When it comes to the Eagles, um, I'm not gonna say like they are flying under the radar, but I think for the right reasons, to be honest with you. I think by any measures that passing offense is not at all where it needs to be. Jalen Hurts has not. I don't know. Maybe it's because he's relying, and the team can be more reliant on the run game because it's that good. but against the especially against the Bucks, he played very bad when it comes to a passing offense. I mean, I think what under 60% completion rate, two interceptions. I think he was not at all good when it came to the Bucks overall. Um, I wasn't very impressed when it came to the passing offense, but I agree. They are definitely a under the radar team. I just don't agree with the fact that they deserve or like they are really something to watch out for. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Defensively, I agree. But then the Washington Senators.
The
Look, I or
Senator.
Senators. Yeah, so I call them the Senators actually. This thing is because actually it's interesting. I always call them the Senators. No, I never call them the Commanders because I think it's I don't know why I've always called them Senators. I
There
just
was a
do.
bit, the baseball team in the early 1920s,
Let's
right?
call the Washington
They were called the
Senators.
Washington Senators.
Yeah, yeah.
They had a
So
famous pitcher by the name of Walt. That's the only reason I know that Walter Johnson. For those of you
I
baseball
see.
guys out there, like you guys know,
No
great
clue.
story.
I'm a more cricket man myself. More energy, more speed, more everything. Different debate. But that's me. So Washington Senators have a very good run game. Don't start it. Don't start it, Josh. You already know. Don't start it. Eric Bieniemy has proven himself very well in these past 2 weeks. Four interceptions is kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of bad, but not kind of bad. It's really bad. But I think it's just a stepping stone for this team to go to the next level. So that's me. That's that. Next, I'm going to move on to the Bengals and the Titans. I'm going to start off with the Titans. Titans here, they beat us, but because it's not because they. I'm going to say it's one of those famous ESPN quotes, but here it makes sense. They didn't beat us. We just lost. There's kind of a difference. Actually, it's not an ESPN quote. I think it's from Hell's Kitchen. There's like this the one guy who was like, "Oh, I mean, they didn't win. We just lost." That case doesn't. Here it makes sense. We threw the game away against them. I personally feel that's the only reason why they won. So I'm just gonna put that out there. Tennessee Titans last week against the Browns was horrible, offensively and defensively was horrible. But I think this team does have potential. I think this can be a like very small edged playoff team, maybe. They're not in mine right now, but maybe they could be. I don't know. I'm just the Ryan Tannehill thing, DeAndre Hopkins, yeah, but I'm just not sold on it from the Tennessee Titans. The Cincinnati Bengals, I want to talk about this, and I think Yash, I think you should also carry on with the Cincinnati Bengals just a bit.
Yeah,
This team has underperformed massively. I'll go back to the five things. Underperformed, Joe Burrow, disappointing. This is my five words for this team. This team has underperformed massively. The way they've been playing these games is like, what's going on?
yeah.
Like, there's something wrong, like very wrong. It's not just because Joe Burrow's injured or something. Jamar Chase last game was yeah. I mean, this team
Well,
hasn't scored 30
offense
if I'm
been
not wrong.
horrible.
This team hasn't scored 30. And this is the team that we were saying is an MVP caliber, offensively mind-boggling
Or
type
I
team.
said historic offense.
Historic off. This has been historically bad when it comes to seriously, it's not. I mean, 16 points against the Rams going in the fourth quarter, like, dude, there's something serious. I'm concerned personally. If I'm a Bengals fan, I'm concerned. Joe Burrow has not been him. He's under 50%. I think for two of his games, he's been throwing interceptions like they're candy to a baby or something. Um, and then it's like touchdowns are here and there. The offense can't run the ball. I think they scored their first touchdown or something like against the Rams, if I'm not wrong, or something like that. The
Yeah,
first rushing touchdown of the year was against the Rams, right?
yeah.
I mean,
The
three
first
weeks in,
touchdown in general was a punt return.
punt return. Not even the quarterback could throw a touchdown. It's embarrassing how they've played the last few games. It's not just because other teams' defenses are good. It's not that. Joe Burrow has just not been good. And what's concerning to me is this. I don't know if he's going to get over it. This is extremely concerning for me. Extremely.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's where we're gonna go. The net, I mean, yeah, all I'll say about Burrow is Burrow's gone from Joe Cool, really good, to Fat Joe, who I think is an overrated rapper. Not,
Joe Cool is Montana.
yeah, So Joe Montana is really, really good, right? And Joe Burrow is also
You
Joe
just
Burrow is also
compared
in the
Joe
group argument
Burrow. You compared Joe Burrow with Joe Montana.
because Joe Cool is his nickname, and people have compared him to Joe Burrow or to Joe Montana. So I'm not saying that they're the same. All I'm saying is take that name. This is
To
just
whoever said that, to whoever said that, take 4-0 right in your face. That is utter garbage. Okay, go on.
but he's turned from Joe Cool, who's really good, to Bat Joe, who I think is a really bad rapper. So yeah, I mean, anybody who likes Fat Joe, I'm sorry, but yeah, he's not that good in my opinion.
Wow.
Um, anyways, yeah, as far as the next one, I'm gonna go Ravens Browns. Not much really to say about the Browns. I'll just say Watson massages defense is good. And I say this like Watson, I think, has gotten too many massages. He's too loose with the football and he just nonchalantly throws it everywhere.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm not going to exactly expand on that because this is a child friendly podcast.
Yeah.
Um, but the
Clearly not
Ravens,
clearly not when you brought up the fact that I love Brandon Staley. You just went crazy with that, but go ahead.
okay, yeah, but the as far as the Browns defense, they're impressive. They've been impressive. Miles Garrett is a beast. He's
It is
always been
this is a great this is the number one defense in the NFL. Statistically, this
they've
is the
been
number
playing,
one
yeah,
defense.
they've been playing like that. Yeah, for sure.
Allow the least amount of rushing yards, allow the least amount of rushing yards per attempt, third in passing yards and passing attempts. Dude, you don't realize I've never done this with Yash right in front of my face for everybody who's seeing this. Never have I brought up some statistical measurement right in front of Yash's face because I don't do this. Like I'm just not a statistics person. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I mean, you really went over it for as far as the statistics go. They're first in pretty much any defensive statistic, basic or advanced. So, I mean, I mean, Garrett had what 3.5 sacks last game. He had something like 8 pressures in like 3 quarters, which is something insane to me. He's just an absolute monster. Um, but I mean, Jim Schwartz, I didn't think Schwartz was going to be this good as a defense coordinator. I had my questions on him. He has really impressed me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, this Browns team is going to be interesting to watch based on their defense. Their defense could really carry them a lot further than what we thought they might end up being. Um, yeah, that's really the only thing I have to say on the Browns. The Ravens, same story as last year.
Huh.
Yeah, this is
Huh. Okay.
this is the same team as last year. They disappoint in games that you don't expect. They have that one game where you just cannot find a reason for that why they should have lost, and they did.
Mhm.
This one was Justin Tucker missed a 61-yard field goal. I mean, as I can't believe that for Tucker kicking a 61-yard field goal is like, oh my god, he missed, he missed.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
god.
that's his greatness. That's his greatness.
Yeah,
That's
I
his
mean that's how
greatness.
good he is. But like, yeah, um, yeah, the Ravens, they're the same story as last year. Lamar has a good game, then he has a terrible game.
Mhm.
Mark Andrews, helps me win in fantasy one week, and then next week I'm trading him to the worst fantasy player in my league. Usually that's either one of my what's it called? One of my friends who doesn't watch football, or one of my friends' girlfriends who also doesn't watch football, right?
Okay.
Who just joins because they want to find out more about football. Um, but yeah, I mean that's the Ravens. They're just a really weird team. John Harbaugh is so inconsistent with head coaching. It frustrates me.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
can't imagine what it's like for my dad, who's more of a Ravens fan than I am. Um,
Okay.
and that defense is really weird. That's all I really got to say about the
Huh.
Ravens.
Weird. 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 I disagree with. I think they're actually playing very well.
No,
But
they're weird in the sense like they're same inconsistent. They're good, but they're inconsistent. Like everything about this
fair.
team is just inconsistent. It's just
The
irritating.
inconsistency. I don't know. I'm a bit more partial to them. I think they have played very well. I think I would say very well. I don't think they have very well. Um, so what we're gonna do now is we only have I think 8 teams left. So we're gonna do a 2-by-2. So I'm gonna take 4 teams, and you're gonna take 4 teams, and we're gonna finish this episode off. And we want to finish this episode off in a high note, and so this is how we're gonna do it: 2-by-2. Ready?
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna start off with the Steelers and Texans. First off, I mean the Steelers. Like I was saying about the defense, and I'm not wrong. TJ Watt has just been spectacular when it comes to these past games. I
Six
think he's had like
sacks
what
in 3 games.
5 sacks, right?
Six,
Five,
six.
6 sacks. I mean, six. I mean, come on. I mean, George Hill didn't know what was coming. Three
14
sacks against
pressures.
against Brock. Yeah, 13 by one guy.
14. 14.
By one guy. By one guy. Imagine in 3 games by one guy. TJ Watt's being I called it in in the beginning of the year. TJ Watt's defensive player of the year, and I think he is proving that right now. Micah Parsons was. He's not anymore. I think personally. So this guy's defensive player of the year. Offense. I told it before, and I'm right again, baby. This offense has just been horrible. The Raiders game was a fluke to me, to be honest with you. A lot of them tip passes, lucky catches, blown up coverages because not because the quarterback was able to do anything. Safeties don't know what they're doing. Linebackers don't know what they're doing when it comes to the Raiders. That's the only reason why they won there. The Texans, extremely resilient. I think personally, um, CJ Stroud is not playing like a rookie quarterback. He's playing like a legitimate Pro Bowl type, All Pro type quarterback. Great quarterback skills. Sees the game very well. He's able to see deep balls, everything. I think he's just overall fantastic player. Next, I'm gonna do I want, you know what? I'm gonna do this because I want more time for this specific topic. I'm going to go on the Seahawks and Giants. This for me is gonna be the Giants. I talked about the general manager of the Giants and how I really liked him. I think he has done a great job. The Giants just haven't been able to execute. I think overall, they're I mean kind of similar to the Chargers, but not as hurting. They haven't just been able to finish it really. Against the Cowboys, abysmal. Against the Cardinals, wow. Against the Niners, expected. Plus, it's just things like without Saquon Barkley, I think Stephen A. Smith said it very well. Without Saquon Barkley, this team is really not a team. They cannot rally around offensively to do anything. And defensively, this team's been giving up around, I think, 28 points a game. They've been giving up 4.8 yards per carry. They've just been defensively, they've gone down many levels. Um, it's just not great from that aspect. The Seahawks, however, wow. A quintuple wow. I don't know what the 5 word is for 5 times, but I'm going to say quintuple right now because they have definitely been performing offensively out. I mean, out of the fields, if you would say. Like this team has just been crazy. I mean, I think they're averaging what 30. They've gone, I think, 30 points a game in these past 3 weeks. They scored 37 back to back against I think, if I'm not wrong, they scored against the Lions 37 points, and the other team also 37 points. I forget the team right now. But they've just been consistently so good on offense. They've almost not been able to stop. I don't know if any team defense has been able to stop them so far. Um, Geno Smith has definitely been accurate as a passer. The Rams was bad. I agree. The Rams was bad, but like overall as an offense, team's been great. Passing yard, defensive wise, whoa, huh, why, what, how? This is why I have that because this defense has been performing relatively like Joe Burrow. What's going on? Because the thing is, this defense, from a passing yards perspective, they have allowed for more than 300 yards a game when it comes to the passing yards. That's against not the best quarterbacks in the NFL, um, but good quarterbacks, good to pretty good quarterbacks. So it's just both of them. They have their positives and their negatives. I think it's going to be an interesting game, and I think the Seahawks will top it. But it's going to be an interesting game. So those are my 2 by 2. The rest is to you, and I think everybody knows the topic that we're all waiting to hear.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna start with I'm gonna just get out of the way the few ones that I think are pretty brief to talk about. Broncos versus Bears. Tank Bowl Part 1 incoming. These are the two worst teams in the football right now, so there's
Yeah.
not much to say on that. As far as the Buccaneers and the Saints, Dave Canales, future head coach. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah, the Buccaneers offense is better than I thought they were, but they were close to what I thought. Like I said it before the beginning of the
Okay.
season, Dave Canales was one of the best new offensive coordinators. He impressed me a
Yeah.
lot with what he did as developing Geno Smith. He helped with that pass game coordination for the Seahawks that was so good last year. So I mean,
Hmm.
I thought that this was coming with the weapons that they had and all. And I thought Baker Mayfield was good with the deep ball game. They've played well, and Baker Mayfield's played well. That defense played well. I told people Todd Bowles is a good coach. He just needed a good offensive coordinator, something he didn't get with New York, something he didn't get
Yep.
with
That's
Byron
true.
Leftwich. And the Bucks defense is still pretty good. And Shaq Barrett, I mean, I want to say this: you've been playing with your heart out after your daughter died, and I have much respect to you, man. And then the Saints, um, overrated, but can improve. I think their offense
Mhm.
is really overrated. I do like
Yeah,
not
I don't
necessarily
like it
because
either.
of like quarterback or any like the talent is really good. Olave is spectacular. The only piece that's been underperforming is really Michael Thomas. The run game's still pretty good. I think it's more just scheming. Like the what's it called? Like Pete Carmichael, I've not been impressed at all by his play calling. The way he uses the players, he's very conservative. Derek Carr, like the things that I saw were a problem with Derek Carr back like in 2018, 2017, 2018, those were self-inflicted. This was more just like they're limiting the range of like times where he can throw the deep ball. This when he throws the deep ball, he's really good. So
Hmm.
that's where I stand on them. The other team is the Vikings versus the Panthers. Panthers, not much to say. That is my 4 words. Literally, because there is not much to say. This is literally the most boring team, in my opinion, in football right now, as far as
Yeah, agreed.
for everything.
Agreed.
Bryce Young has been pretty average for a rookie. So there's really not much to say.
Yeah,
Vikings, Kirk Cousins, not the problem. I can't believe I'm saying this. This is the 1 year Kirk Cousins has really played well to me. I'm gonna give him his flowers.
yeah,
He's impressed me. He has played well the last 2 games. First game he did not play well, and I was saying classic Kirk Cousins.
yeah. But I mean, he
Last
stepped
game,
up. He stepped up.
he stepped up. Yeah, the defense though is horrible, and that needs to improve on many occasions. I don't think it's
Yeah,
Brian Flores' fault. This team just does not have talent defensively, and I
yeah.
said that even before the season
I
began.
mean, Daniel Hunter can do the best he can, but it
Yeah.
is gonna lack.
And then the final game. This is the one where we're gonna like. This is the one where I think most people want to talk about. Chiefs versus Jets. Chiefs. Not much to say really because this is the team that we expected after the
Huh.
first game. I mean, the first game was really disappointing, underwhelming because of the way the receivers played. But they've stepped up with their offense. Their offense has played
Mhm.
well. Mahomes has carried them like we expected. So this is all I'm gonna say as far as the Chiefs. Taylor Swift, Super Bowl MVP. I mean, I don't care. Like,
Okay,
I
okay.
got so excited about
I'll
the
give you
rumors
that. I'll give you that.
with
I'm
him.
actually surprised though. I mean, it's a good one. It's a good line,
It's funny
but
though. Yeah, it's funny. Who cares?
it's a good line. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna disagree with you a little. Let's be honest. This Chiefs offense is not near what it can be.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair
Let's
enough.
be very
Yeah,
honest. 41 points against the Bears is, again, we talked about it before. It's one of the worst teams in the NFL right now. You can't really say anything about the Bears because they're that bad.
defense
Um,
is horrible. Way worse
I
than
mean, deep dish pizza there is really good, but that's about the best thing you can say about Chicago at this
try
point.
the
I
thin
mean,
line pizza over there. Oh my god, it hits different.
thin line?
Yeah, like the thin crust pizza. That's even better.
Deep dish is supposed to be a thick pizza with a thick crust.
Chicago people call that tourism pizza. Like there's one girl in
Really?
my
Oh,
class.
I think they
She
call it a pie.
calls that like tourism pizza. Yeah, she's from Chicago.
Oh, I think they call it a pie. Maybe I'm wrong. But I mean, so the 41 points against them, I'm not gonna use that. 17 points against the Jags.
Yeah, that
20
was underwhelming.
22 points, 21 points. The first game from a film standpoint, horrible. Second game against the Jags, a lot of things went wrong. A lot of
I
things
felt
went
that
wrong.
game though was a lot more missed opportunities, in my opinion.
Both games were. That's my point. Both games were. But that's why I'm saying the film you'll see that a lot.
Yeah,
This team has been underperforming personally to me. Then he can't, and I'm saying
that's
underperforming
fair.
based on the level they can reach. That's my point of view. Now I want to jump on this because
This is
I
probably the story of the last 3 weeks.
there's something uh in our religion, in Hindu religion, called karma.
Oh,
Okay, and it struck the Jets right in. I mean, wow. This has been the greatest debacle of any team in NFL history. The
Really?
greatest debacle. There's not been a greater story and a greater period to end a tragic book. If this book, the what do you call it? The I don't know. It's like the Achilles heel of the New York Jets or something is karma. Like I don't know what's going on. Like there's
There
this.
are a few
If
stories
I
I can
write a
say that ended worse. Like 2018 Steelers was up there.
No,
Raiders one
not
was
no no
the
no no
most.
not this, not this. I'll explain why. I'll explain why. Because I know a New York Jets fan, so I'm gonna speak from his perspective.
Wait, who are
This
you talking
book,
about? First, I want to know who you're
no
talking.
no no, it's not the person you know. He's a person on my family side. This guy, the New York Jets. Think about this. When was the last time they made the playoffs? Think about it. 2011,
Mhm.
something like that, with Rex Ryan leading there with Daryl Revis,
Yeah.
with a quarterback who was much better off than what Zach Wilson's doing right now. They draft Zach Wilson. He's thrown 16 touchdowns and 21 interceptions his entire NFL career. Justin Herbert threw nearly double or more than double the touchdowns in his rookie season, and he didn't start his first week. Let's take that into perspective. That's that. Aaron Rodgers comes in. Joe Douglas is putting a team together for the ages. He's building that Steelers dynasty. He's bringing in Brees Hall like he that the Steelers brought in Franco Harris. He brought in Christian Williams like they brought in Joe Green. He's building the defensive line. He has cornerbacks like Sauce Gardner like there was Mel Blount. He has a safety up top who got 3 interceptions in his first game. He has that guy like Donnie Shell who can hit up strong. He's formulating that Steelers dynasty. He has the linebackers like CJ Mosley, tough, nasty like Jack Lambert. He has everything there. And now he brings in the Terry Bradshaw of the Steelers. He brings in the Aaron Rodgers, the experience. He's seen everything. He knows everything. He's gonna trash talk them because he feels the confidence. He has an offensive rookie of the year. He has the attackers on his side. He has the tight end of the Green Bay Packers. He has everything he needs. And the first snap, a three-step back pedal,
Or snap.
two-step hitch inside, boom, get sacked. Aaron Rodgers has never, if I'm not wrong, has never been out for an entire season. And this may be the first time. Why? What's the coincidence that he comes in now to the New York Jets and it's all over? It's all over. Every single Jets fan in that stadium, every single. No, 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 Yash. Here's the thing, though. I know you were saying the Dolphins are going to be the number one, Bills, and then
This wasn't. Oh
Jets
no, no, I'll get to that. You go ahead. Finish what
with
you're saying.
with Aaron Rodgers being there, and maybe that could have happened. I don't know. But think about the Jets fans for a second. As much as delusional as they can be, just think about their hearts right now.
I know.
They have never been higher in their lives. They've never had a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers since Joe Namath in terms of popularity. And now they have Zach Wilson, who let's carefully think about this. Who's been 32nd when it comes to QBR, 31st when it comes to passing yards, 33rd when it comes to passing yards per attempt. He's been in the 30th range when it comes to quarterbacks.
He's, if I'm not mistaken, I think he is dead last in PFF grade and QBR, and not QBR.
QBR, I think he's 33rd or
No,
30
he's third.
or
No, yeah, yeah. He's
32nd.
not in the last, right? Hold up.
He's not last for QBR. I know that for a fact. 32nd, I think.
No, he's 33rd. Just
33rd.
just
Okay. 30, yeah, but that just goes to say karma, it's by the way, the definition of karma is very much not at all explicitly correctly said. There's both sides to it, and most people don't expect that. But this, unfortunately, the negative side has, like a snake, it's just bit them, and they're feeling the poison. It's bleeding green. It's bleeding through all of them. Every single Jets fan in that stadium went silent. Jets fans don't go silent for anything. Hot dogs, whatever you want to call it, they don't go silent for anything. I mean, this is the greatest debacle of a franchise. Because I guarantee this, when Joe Namath starts pulling up Twitter I mean, this man's hand is probably moving like, you know what I'm saying?
No.
And he's able to write a whole message like that, and he's able to talk about Zach Wilson like that. This team is in the biggest, this is the greatest debacle, the greatest fall, the greatest calamity of any franchise in NFL history. Because of the irony, the drama, the expectation going into the season. Everything fell flat on their face. I don't. I mean, yeah, Yash. I know you're gonna bring up the division standings of how you had them,
No,
and I have
actually,
respect
no,
for that.
no, I'm not.
You're not gonna. Okay, well, you're maybe not gonna bring up that, but I just want to finish up by saying this. It hurts, I think, every NFL fan because we wanted to see it. We wanted to see the four best quarterbacks in a division. Maybe this probably was the best quarterback division. If Mac Jones has been playing fairly well, if you really think about the last three games, but it's just wow. The first thing that struck me was this. There's a famous quote. Actually, not a famous quote. My parents often tell me this rather. For me, it's famous. They always say, "Don't get too highs. Don't get too high with the highs. Don't get too low with the lows." They always tell me that. Always, and I think that's really bit them because I mean, we were expecting this team to win the Super Bowl at some point with Aaron Rodgers. I think a lot of people were.
Yeah.
It just shows you like
It's
the
fucking
NFL
close.
is unpredictable. Karma is just
Oh,
struck them.
this. I swear. Look, I know what I said about the Jets, right? This as far as the standings go. To me, I would have let's get this out of the way. I would have never expected Rodgers to tear his Achilles, right? Given his
Yeah,
health, given everything. But even just as an NFL fan, you never expect anybody to get hurt, right? And but here's the thing. I mean, with the whole thing, I always thought it was like the struggle thing, but it wasn't. In somewhere in the back of my mind, you'd have a bit of logic, bit of reason telling you it's Aaron Rodgers. He's gonna, come out through. But like at the same time, something about the season, even then, was still like a gut feeling was just telling me something's gonna happen, man. Something is gonna stop this yet. There's no way with how enthusiastic Jets fans are this year that they're gonna actually get it to go their way. They're gonna make the playoffs or make the Super Bowl. I will not tell you that I expected Rodgers to tear his Achilles, but the storyline was, oh my god, the first game itself. I mean, let's just put this in context. We have not talked about any team in 8 episodes. We have talked about the Jets at least once in probably each of the 8 episodes that we've had. Okay, the Jets have had so many storylines this offseason from their breakout players. They have so many young players. Aaron Rodgers getting traded, how he's going to perform with this team. We talked about Sauce Gardner and his value to the team. We talked about, guys like Garrett Wilson and all. We talked about where Aaron Rodgers might fall, and then Dalvin Cook signing with this team. I mean, there was everything before the first game. And mind you, there was like I don't there was this was on 9/11, okay? This game was on 9/11, on the 22nd anniversary of September 11, one of the most disastrous events to happen in American history, right? One of the most tragic events to happen in American history. Aaron Rodgers comes out carrying the flag of the United States for a New York Jets team that's rallying around that. And let me start off by saying this. A lot of people don't realize the extent of this. The Jets were a really good team in the early 2000s, right? They started falling apart the minute that happened. They played the week of 9/11. They're carrying the flags and all. That was Brady's first game. That was the game that Brady got, that Drew Bledsoe got internal bleeding, right? And that started, by the way, Achielles, your mic is malfunctioning.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean that's like with the Jets, that happened 22 years ago, and flash forward 22 years now, we're getting a headline by I don't remember which newspaper, but there was one newspaper that I saw that said 22 years after 9/11, another part of New York City crashed and burned tonight, right? When you have that headline and the script that happened that game, I mean, you have Peyton Manning saying "holy, holy" on TV. I mean, the most funny thing I've heard. But like, he tears his Achilles on the fourth snap of the game, right? And The whole game you're hearing, well, what about Aaron Rodgers? Is it an ankle thing? Is it a X-ray, MRI, whatever? And the Jets somehow rally around this on some emotion, and their defense plays amazing. And Garrett Wilson makes such a catch, and Joe Buck is showing emotion for God's sakes. And then the punt return, the Bass like doing kick off the. It was just a crazy game, and I still don't understand based on how these Jets have played these last 2 weeks how they've managed to keep everything. How they managed to win that
Oh,
game against a Buffalo Bills team that's so good.
so good. See,
And
here's the
then
thing, though. Here's the thing. I think this is the thing, though. This defense, I said this, right? They were going to be the best defense in the NFL. I said that about the Jets defense.
they've carried
I
this
think
team.
they've lost the confidence. They've lost a lot of confidence. They've lost a lot of confidence. 30 points against the Dallas Cowboys like that, that's a lot of confidence lost right there. They felt every. Here's the other thing about the Jets. Actually, you know what? No, you finish. Go ahead.
No, I mean, yeah, I get your point. But like, here's the thing. It's like I agree with you as far as the confidence thing. I do because this team reminds me the minute Aaron Rodgers fell apart, this team reminded me of the 49ers in the NFC Championship last year when um
Wow, really?
when
I
Josh
think it's more
Johnson got
tragic than
hurt,
that. I think it's
right?
more tragic than
That
that.
that team lost confidence. They were still playing desperate. They were still playing maniacal. They had some passion, but they were, they felt deflated because I mean they lost morale because both their quarterbacks were out. They had no quarterbacks left. It's seen, the long-term issue. I mean, this Jets team has been playing their heart out. They put up 15, they only gave up 15 points to the New England Patriots. Granted, not the greatest offense in the world, but they held Josh Allen to 17 points. Or yeah, was it 17 points, right? Yeah.
I think
And
so.
Josh Allen was constantly showing his love to Jordan Whitehead and all. But I mean, this defense has played so well. And then when you have like a whole week where I mean, Zach Wilson, I don't think played horrible in the Dallas game. He played bad, but it was to me that game was more Nathaniel Hackett than everything, right? But then this whole week, I mean, I was busy this whole week, right? So I didn't get a lot of chance to
Me
look
too.
at news. But the fact of the matter, I get my sources whenever I'm busy, especially I get my sources from two specific places, right? I got notifications on my phone, so I read like the headline, and then I have a friend who tells me everything, right? And it's interesting because it's like every day I get a single update, and it got up to the point where I was like studying for my test. It's like, don't bother me, man. And it's like it's so, I mean, from Joe Namath calling Zach Wilson out to, Zach Wilson was horrible against the New England Patriots for the
Yeah,
umpteenth
yeah.
time, right? Then Joe Namath calling them out, and like you said with Namath, he's so old he probably doesn't know how to text. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's that. Then there's you see how they fought on the locker room, Garrett Wilson and this coaching staff. I think a lot of people miss the fact that this is a very, very young coaching staff. A lot of the people on this
Mhm.
coaching staff are like under the age of 50, like under the age of
Yeah.
45, even,
Yeah.
right? Salah is 43 as a coach. And I feel
Hmm.
like this lack of inexperience with such a young team, it's a
Yeah.
bit of
Yeah.
immaturity, but more inexperience. And also you have to add in the New York media who like exaggerates everything
Everything.
to
Everything.
like 10 times as bad as it is. You see the things on the sideline, and then Aaron Rodgers is calling out the team from the sideline with the Pat McAfee show, and more people are calling out Zach Wilson. It gets to a point where like Zach Wilson's played so horrible. I said this even last year. The way he played in that Jags game, he hasn't shown any improvement.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man, but
I
I've
mean,
got to say that
I
this like a guy who at this point I don't think he should be in the league. He is that
I
bad.
mean, I've told you the same thing, exact thing. I've told you the same exact thing. From the moment he stepped in the NFL, when he came to the Jets, I knew it was going to be a bad thing. Like immediately, I knew it was going to be a bad thing. Um, Here's the thing that frustrates me over everything else. And you brought it to the coaching aspect. I told us about the Chargers, and if you remember, you go back to the video and watch it. Adapt to what you have. I'll use those 5 words for the Jets. Adapt to what you have all the time. You have Brees Hall. Here's the thing
I'm
though.
using him.
As defunct as Zach Wilson has been as that quarterback, you're not done. You're not done. I want to bring this bit as I know they've lost in their eyes lost everything. But there is hope. You have Brees Hall. You have probably one of the best running backs when it comes to last year, top five running back with you, and he's not even starting. He's not even starting some of these games. And you still want to throw 40 passes with Zach Wilson. You still want to throw 20 passes with Zach Wilson.
Okay, I don't blame them that for much because they're playing
No, I
catch up.
completely
They're
blame
playing
them.
catch ups. You can't
No,
really blame them there.
no. Why don't you run the ball? You
How can you
punch
run the
down
ball
their
though when you're
throat,
that down
run the
behind
ball.
every game?
Dude,
Unless you're
I
saying
don't
like
care,
start
bro.
the unless you're
Okay,
saying like start the game
why
behind.
why they're down that much behind the game? Because they pass the ball. If you
Okay, then
run
yeah.
the ball,
Okay, yeah. Then
no,
I got what you're
think
saying.
about this. Very, very simple logic. If I run the ball to start off the game, I take time off the clock. I give less time for the opposition to go against me with
Yeah.
a strong defense. I take down the ball. Here, I can throw here. Zach
Right.
Wilson may not be the worst when it comes to RPOs. He's bad, but he may not be the worst when it comes to RPOs. He could throw a little jig
He's
route to a
stealing
tight end.
throws over everybody's head all the time.
He doesn't need to throw the deep balls. He's not a good shotgun player. I just don't. Nathaniel Hackett, I hated him when he came to the Broncos. I despised him when he was a Broncos head coach. Only reason why I was positive about this guy was because
Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers.
Rodgers and him made a homogeneous solution. I'll come back to the chem term. They made a homogeneous solution together. With Zach Wilson, they're not a solution. They're like an equal mark with a big dash underneath it. They don't make sense at all.
They're
I
not.
don't
They are sodium and chlor. Or no, sorry. They're what's it
know.
called? They are sodium and water
Sodium and water. They're oil and water. That's a better one. Why sodium?
because they explode.
You actually know what? No, it's fine.
Yeah.
No, because the thing is that you could have twisted like, oh, they explode into a better offense.
No,
That's what
no.
I was about to say. But here's the thing, they just Nathaniel Hackett needs to learn, adjust, and apply. Like, just come on. With young coaches, and you brought up a good point. With young coaches, this whole idea of ideas. Bring me more about ideas. I got to show I'm an Albert Einstein when it comes to football. I don't care if you're an Albert Einstein. Great
That's the other
coaches have never
thing.
put.
Go ahead.
No, look, Bill Walsh didn't create the most genius offense ever. As great as the West Coast offense was, it's not the most genius offense ever. It's not the most labor intensive or mind intensive. It's a great offense to efficiently put out the ball. That was the West Coast offense. Joe Gibbs had three quarterbacks and won a Super Bowl. Didn't change his style. Bill Parcells, boom, run the ball, hit you in the mouth, simple offense. Vince Lombardi, Green Bay Packers team. I just don't get the whole idea. I
I don't know. See, that's the thing about it. Like you have to look at the situation though. This is a problem with the Jets. They're kind of in
situation.
a damned if you are, damned if you don't situation at this point. In this way, I mean, I said what I said about the coaching, and I stand by that, right? But this is the other thing. Like people are criticizing Saleh because he's apologetic about Zach Wilson more than he's really holding him accountable. And while I agree with that for sure, I think like Zach Wilson at this point needs to be held accountable. Maybe not called out, right? But this is
He
where
should be called. No,
here's
no,
the thing.
no, no, no. Don't say he has to be called out.
No, this is why I'm saying that. This is why I'm saying that. If it was like, Pittsburgh, I would agree with that. But this is the problem with the New York media, right? When you're in a place like New York, everything's going to be exaggerated. This is why I don't think like if you had a guy who call out players like Chuck Noll instance, right? The thing is, right, if you have a guy like that and he criticizes Zach Wilson to that point, eventually you're going to get in this thing where, then other players, especially given the fact that this
Okay.
roster is so
Look,
young,
look.
they're going to play under some sort of fear, right? And
Josh.
hold
Can,
up,
can I
just
just say one thing though? Can I just say
yeah,
one thing? Zach Wilson is not a crybaby. Okay, he can take toughness.
that's not
When
what
Aaron
my
Rodgers
point
went
is.
down, what did he say? What did he say to the New York
I
media? He
get
was
that. I get that. I completely agree with you. What I'm saying though, he's not a crybaby for sure. What I'm saying is like at some point when you have guys like that who always hit on you that way, and you're also in addition in the New York media, that eventually takes a toll on you. You're playing through some sort of fear with the lack of confidence that this team already has with how young they are, right?
fine.
Inexperienced they are. Eventually, that's going to lead to even players like veterans eventually kind of getting fed up. So even if
Yeah,
they agree with, they buy into the Chuck Noll thing, they're going to get fed up with it because they keep losing, right? At some point that
yeah.
it wears you out, exhausts you, right? It kind of like
No,
what happened with the Vikings a few years ago with Mike Zimmer, similar idea,
Mike Zimmer.
right?
Yes, yeah.
And then the other side of it is what Robert Saleh is doing. where he's so apologetic for Zach Wilson, it becomes something stale to a team like the defense. He's a
It's
defensive-minded head
laughable.
coach. The
It's
defense
laughable.
grows tired of him. Then you lose the locker room. So it's a damned if you are, damned if you don't situation. I honestly don't see any win-win situation for the Jets at all. And with their how
I
hard their
don't.
schedule is, it's only going to get worse from here.
No, but I believe if they try at least with this rushing offense, I think they can make something out of it.
Yeah.
Remember last year this was a playoff team. This
Yeah.
was literally a playoff team. They messed up the last few games. Run the ball. Brees Hall can run the ball. I
I
don't
don't
know
know why
why
they
they're not.
don't. Yeah, I don't know why they don't, man.
I don't understand. So, look, guys, that's our whole reaction when it comes to all the teams. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna quickly go through our predictions. Again, just go two teams each time. Simply, who we're gonna take over who, and then just about a few seconds explanation. And that's just gonna be a predictions list. So, Yash, I'll start this off. Um, I'm gonna start off from yeah. What I'll do is I'm gonna start off from the bottom, then I'm gonna work my way up. So from the Chiefs and the Jets. I think we know this. I think everybody knows this. The Chiefs are going to get the win.
Yeah, no question. The Chiefs are better. Mahomes is better, and Zach Wilson's terrible. As long as that continues, Chiefs are going to win. Seahawks versus Giants. Monday Night Football. I'm gonna go with the Seattle Seahawks. I think the Giants secondary has a couple problems that they need to fix. Their
Couple is
defense is a little
understatement.
inconsistent. They're playing catch up a lot of the times, in my opinion. So to me, the Seahawks team, with how talented their offense is, as long as Saquon Barkley is not playing, so I don't think their defense is gonna have to worry that much about Daniel Jones. They're gonna be able to focus all their attention on, and they're gonna be better than most other games they've played. So I think Seattle's gonna win that game.
For the Cardinals and the 49ers, I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals. I think that this team has
Whoa,
the ability
really?
to run over. I'm joking. Come on, no way. The 49ers are going to
I was
smoke
about to
these
say,
guys.
man.
Come on. I mean, these birds are done under the desert. I mean, come on. Like, these are smoked under the desert right now. The Cardinals don't have a chance. Niners are going to run them over, pass them over, whatever they do over, because apparently I mean,
They're just a
they've
better
been
team.
dominating. So I'm going to go with the Niners on this one.
Yeah, they play better teams and they've dominated everyone they've played. So yeah, I mean,
Dominated is a strong word when it comes to the
well, the
Rams, but
Rams, yeah,
they,
but
they, they played well.
yeah, the Vikings versus the Panthers. I'm gonna go with the Vikings. Kirk Cousins has been playing well, like I said earlier. Their defense has problems, but I trust Brian Flores to play against that offense. I don't trust Bryce Young that much against a guy who likes to blitz a lot.
Mhm.
And I think that in general, when you have Justin Jefferson playing the way he is, there's nobody who could stop him on that Panthers defense one on one. He's just unstoppable right now. He's the best receiver in football, and he's continued to show that.
I completely agree with the Justin Jefferson. Next, going on, I'm going to go with probably the toughest game to kind of decide the Dolphins against the Bills,
Oh,
just by a hair. I think it's the toughest game to decide. I mean, you look at the
I
schedule
agree. No, I agree with you. I agree
this
with you.
upcoming week. I'm gonna go just by a hair. I'm gonna go with the Dolphins, but I think this is gonna be like a 36 to 34 type win for the Dolphins. I don't think they're gonna explode 70 points. Obviously not. I think they will offensively do well. Okay, I think it's gonna be like a 28 to 26 type win, like a 2 point win or something
Yeah, I
crazy
think
like
this is going to be a little bit of a
that.
low scoring game
But I
compared to.
think the Dolphins will edge it out in the end. Um, even though the Bills are more fluid as a team compared to the Dolphins right now. But that's
Yeah.
that's just me.
No, I'm gonna expand on this a little. I mean, the Dolphins are putting up 550 yards of offense a
That's
game,
just extremely
right?
skewed after one
It's
game. But
skewed, but their offense is going to be talented. But this is a Bills defense that is close to as good as the Patriots defense. They've been that good for a while. Um,
oh no,
no,
you don't. No,
they
you
are as far
don't.
as
No,
talent
you
goes.
don't. No,
They have
you don't.
yes, as far as talent.
Screw talent. What have they been able to do against the field? They played the Jets. They played the Commanders, and then they played the Raiders. Weak teams.
Fair
Weak
enough.
teams.
Fair enough, but they've done this before. They did this last year. They did the same. They have not shown anything different.
Patriots have played against the Dolphins. They've played against
Grant,
the
agreed. But all I'm
yeah.
saying is that they are going to hold the Dolphins to a lot less points than the other teams they've played, right?
Okay,
The
fine.
Broncos don't
Yeah,
have
yeah,
a
yeah.
great defense. Chargers don't have a great defense. Dolphins have played really well. I still think the Dolphins are going to win,
Okay.
particularly because they're playing in Orchard Park in September and not December. So that's going to help
Okay.
them in that sense, and they're playing better. They're red hot. So yeah, that's where I
Okay.
stand on the Dolphins game. As far as the next game, I'm going to go with the Patriots versus the Cowboys. I'm going to
They're a
pick the
tough one.
Cowboys. They're home. Their defense, like you said, is really, really good against that Patriots offense. I trust them a lot more. I trust Tony Pollard in the run game to at least get some yardage versus that vaunted Patriots defense, right? I think they'll get enough plays to win, but I think it's going to be a closer game than people think. It could be a very low scoring game, in my opinion, something like 16-14, something like that. But
Something easy.
I see the Cowboys barely escaping by the teeth of their
Yeah.
chin.
Um, I'm gonna go 16-14 as well, except the opposite. I think the Patriots will stand out. I think the offense has improved. And remember last time they played against Trayvon Diggs was burned completely, and now you don't have Trayvon Diggs. Who are you gonna guard up? Stephon Gilmore coming back to the Patriots, bit of an emotional return. People haven't thought about that, but I am bringing it back up because he was my
Yeah.
favorite player until he betrayed us. So I think the Patriots will edge it out. I'm going to go on to the Chargers against the Raiders. Said my piece already. Chargers are going to beat them. Raiders, see ya.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Josh McDaniels, terrible coach. That defense is horrible. The Bengals versus the Titans. I think the Bengals have found something at least that they can kind of work on. This
Off
is going
of
to be a tough game to them because the Titans defense is kind of underrated. But the fact of the matter is the Titans offense has not shown anything these last few weeks. And the Bengals defense has been playing a lot better than people think. It's
much
just their
better.
offense is that bad. So as long as the Bengals Burrow can at least make some clutch plays like he did last game,
Mhm,
make the plays where he needs to. I think they could at least, I think they could still win. I don't know how much they're going to score, whether they're going to be the Bengals offense that we usually expect or not, but
mhm.
I think they're going to win. I don't trust this Titans team that much.
Yeah. So next one I'm gonna go with is the Bengals against. I mean, you just said the Bengals against the Titans. I'm sorry, the Browns against the Ravens. This one another. I think another tough one to decide on. I think the Browns will edge it out. I think the inconsistency with, as you mentioned, of the Ravens with the Browns having the number one defense in the league, the offense playing good enough, especially against the Titans. The way they played was fantastic offensively, I thought. So I'm gonna go with the Browns on this one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I personally picked the Ravens to win that game. I think that as inconsistent as they are, I think Lamar Jackson has shown to have what's it called? A always pretty good game against the Browns as far as at least making the plays necessary to win. That defense is tougher, but I think that with a more focus on the pass game, I think they can definitely take the Browns by surprise. Um,
Okay.
as far as the next game, I'm going to go with the worst game of the week, that being the Broncos versus the Bears, because I'm sadistic. I'm going to pick the Denver Broncos. I trust their defense somehow after giving up 70 points more than the Bears defense because they have, to me, a little more cohesion as far
Okay.
as their players, more chemistry because they've played more together. But I don't trust Vance Joseph. I do trust their offense more. I think a lot of people have been giving Russell Wilson unwanted slack this or unnecessary slack this year. He's been playing a lot better than last year. Sean Payton has been doing the same thing as offense coordinator. This just team is not on the same chemistry level as I thought they might have been. I still predict them to beat the Bears, who have just been awful.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with they're going to beat the Bears, but Russell Wilson doesn't deserve as much blame as he got last year. But this is not anything to write home about. So I'm gonna do this one now. I'm gonna actually, as I did before in the other segment, we're gonna go 2-2. I'm gonna finish off with two predictions for two games, and Yash is gonna finish off with the other two. So I'm gonna go with the Washington Commanders against the Eagles, not the Senators, the Commanders. I corrected, guys. Eagles, I think they're gonna blow this one out the water. This is the first time I think they're gonna produce an offensive passing yard wise, a very commendable passing yard offensive game. I think they're gonna do. I think they're gonna beat them really 41-10, something like that. A bit of a blowout. Steelers against the Texans. I am taking the Steelers, but it's gonna be a 23 to like 19 type victory. As good as CJ Stroud is, he has not faced pressure like TJ Watt and the Steelers are. So that's my viewpoint on the Steelers versus Texans and the Commanders versus the Eagles.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough because that Texans defense is underrated, and Matt Canada is not a good offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Um, as far as the Buccaneers versus the Saints go, Derek Carr might not be playing for this game, so as far as right now, I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers. I trust their offense more right now. Dave Canales, I told you, he's one of my favorite offensive coordinators right now. He's essentially my Brandon Staley on the offensive side of the ball right now. Yeah, and and I think I trust Todd Bowles a little bit more than I trust Dennis Allen in that sense. Um, as far as the Rams versus the Colts, that's a little bit of a tough game because Shane Steichen has impressed me. But I still don't know what to make of that defense. I trust the Rams with the scheme that Raheem Morris has put a little bit more.
Mhm.
And Puka Nacua plays as great as he's been playing, and
Yeah,
that
they're
Rams
gonna beat them.
team plays, they're going to be good. So I think this Rams team, I trust them a little bit more. And then the
I'm
final
right
game
on
we
them.
have is the Lions Packers Thursday night tomorrow. I mean, this is probably to me a more of going to be a very close game. I'm barely going to go with the Green Bay Packers because I think that as
Oh,
good as the Lions have been playing, they had a few hiccups in between as far as how their defense played. They play hard, but I think the Packers do
agreed.
too. Yeah, like the Lions, they're they are yeah, I mean the Lions is they've had these hiccups every now and then. The Packers, I think they're playing a little bit, their offense has been a lot more consistent. So as I don't know, maybe not, but the thing is, as much as the Lions the main factor is the as much as the Lions have been playing their hearts out, I think the Packers do too. So I think this is going to be a tough game. I think the Packers are going to use home field advantage. And yeah, I mean, I think for that reason, the Packers are going to win. Anyways, guys, that was really my final thoughts as far as that game goes. Achielles had to unfortunately leave, so I have to kind of finish off this final part. This is really just at this point it's just kind of like a closure for the video. Thanks guys really for watching again. I mean, um, these are really fun videos that we make. We really enjoy making these videos. And we really appreciate your support because, this is something that we're both extremely passionate about. And, something that we really want to continue as this season goes on, as the years go on, because we love football, right? I mean, this is a beautiful game with a lot of different intricate things, and we hope to really provide some sort of clarity, some sort of, fun nature to what the sport provides on a weekly basis. But we couldn't do it without your support. So, I mean, please, guys, leave comments in the comments section of our YouTube videos. We're trying to get the channel up on a few podcast places. We're still in the process of trying to figuring that out. But for the most part, yeah, I mean, we have a lot of fun doing this, and we can't do it without your support. So please, on our YouTube video, leave a like and subscribe. Leave a like leave a like and add comments in the comments section. Please subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Till next time, peace.